Ableton Live 12.1 is finally released, and here are my 3 favorite features for performing live. Hi everyone, my name is Kvndra, I'm an electronic musician and live act, and today I want to check with you some of the new features of Ableton Live 12.1. Feature number 1 is Ableton's new limiter. Finally, Ableton has reworked their limiter, and I think it sounds really good. I'll be using it on a synth group, which sounds like this. Just 2 arps playing, and you can already see that the interface has changed quite a bit. So we now have here the input gain. We also have a new maximize toggle here, where we can basically maximize the signal based here on how we set the threshold, which is really nice. But this kind of like is the classical overview where we have here our ceiling, how we can set it. Let's say for this synth group, we would want to have the peak at -5 dB. And now we can start to drive the signal in. Shows you also here on the right side very nicely how much gain is actually reduced. Then of course we have here the release features. We already had that, set the release time to auto or set it in milliseconds by yourself. And now we have here also 2 new modes. The first one is soft clip, which adds a little bit of distortion on top. Quite similar to the glue compressor, and we have a true peak, which is really nice because it ensures that all your peaks will stay at -5 dB. And if we check that here on the synth group, we can actually see, that the peaks stay at -5. I think I would have to set it like this. And now it stays at -5 dB. Really cool update, and I think this is very handy for everyone playing live because you want something to boost the signal at the end of your chain. I've used the Ableton standard limiter before. I wasn't a big fan of how it sounded. This one sounds way more transparent, and I feel it works way better in live scenarios. Feature number 2 is Ableton's new drum sampler. In addition to simpler and sampler, Ableton now has a drum sampler, which is called like that. And it has a very simple user interface. So you just have all your basic controls that you need. But in addition to that, it has a very interesting effects section. And for playing live and to create transitions, I think this effects section is very useful. Let's take a look at that. I have prepared here a little snare roll. The only thing that's going on here now is I have a ramp in the velocity. So the sounds are slowly getting louder, but we can very quickly make this a little bit more interesting. If we now use the effects section, we can apply here the amount of the different effects. We have various options to choose from. Some for transitions that I really like is the pitch envelope or the FM. The pitch envelope sounds like this. And now we could just go in here and automate that. Go to envelopes, go here to select our whole clip. And now let's just bring it up. Maybe a little bit too strong. Let's go here. Not from -100, but actually start from 0%. Really cool. We could also now go in here and select the decay time and also modulate that a little bit. So going back here to the clip and then just go here. Maybe we want to start from here and bring up and see how this sounds. Cool. And also what's really nice about it, it also has a filter section. So we could also now go in here and also change the filter over time. Maybe we make a movement in the different direction. So we're slowly, just slightly closing the filter over time. A very simple tool to make your transitions way more interesting and yeah, to create more impact when also playing live. This, by the way, can also be manipulated live. So if you just have some sounds that you always use for transitions, you could just map these two controls here to, let's say you have an Ableton push that you use to play live, and then you can just manually control these two parameters and this way create impactful transitions whenever you need them. Feature number 3 is more of a mixing technique than live performance technique, but it's a very handy one because it's finally a dynamic EQ in Ableton. Let's check that again here using our 2 ARPs that we were looking at before. And you can see here actually, this is the first ARP and this is the second one. And if we play both at the same time, actually hear that they are masking each other. So let's say we would want, whenever ARP1 is playing, ARP2 to duck down in this frequency range here to give the ARP number 1 a little bit more room. And before that, actually using the envelope follower, that was possible with dropping the envelope follower on the other track. But with Ableton 12.1, actually the envelope follower got a very nice new feature, which is sidechaining. So now what we can do is actually enable sidechaining, select the input coming from ARP number 1, and then here with this mix button we can now basically choose where the signal is coming from. So this is the signal from the original track, but if we bring the mix all the way to 100%, we are only now getting here the envelope of ARP number 1. We can now bring up the gain a little bit to have the spikes a little bit more peak. And now the only thing we need to do is select here the band we want to manipulate, click map, click the gain, and then perfect. You can see whenever ARP1 here is playing, the signal ducks down on ARP number 2. And we can also make the effect a little bit stronger by controlling the gain here. You can see here this is very strong. But this is a very, very helpful feature whenever you feel in your mix that two elements are in a specific frequency range clashing against each other and you just want to create a little bit of room. And actually you could now group these two devices together, save it somewhere, and then you have a good starting point for using this as a dynamic EQ in Ableton Live. And yeah, these are my new favorite features of the new Ableton Live version 12.1. I would love to hear what your favorites are. Let me know in the comments down below. And till then, I'll see you in the next video. Stay creative and bye.